Ekabo.
Ekabo.
Welcome, everybody. I am Awo Ifa Jaminire.
I am Awo Ifa Tegunsha.
And this is, and you are tuned in to
the greatest
podcast
on
the planet Earth. Let's talk IFA. Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Peace.
Peace and blessings, Omo Ekaro El Jire. Peace and blessings, Bogbo Omo Duduwa, Omulu Abi, and yes, Agbato Asuri Wori Wofun. We're back for another episode of Let's Talk IFA. What's going on, brother? How you feel?
Man, I feel good as usual.
Mm-hmm.
I try to keep myself
that's
in the midst of all that's going on in the world. I still try to keep myself, maintain myself.
Benny.
So I'm feeling good.
Yeah. So
how about yourself,
I'm
brother?
Good, brother. You know, knee. I'm just one day at a time.
Benny.
You know,
Benny.
Keeping everything moving. Keep it positive. You know, just perseverance is the name of the game right now.
Living life.
This world that we in today. But today's episode is going to be on the subject of accountability. And
what do that mean?
You know, it's a lot of angles and a lot of different ways to look at that, right? So, you know, we just wanted to address, you know, just a few things that we talk about with a lot of our peers, and we see, you know, different posts on Facebook about different things. So it's just to kind of come reiterate some things about protocol for people, whether you know or don't know, or whatever the case may be. You know, we'll get into that in a second, but you know, that's basically what we want to address today, in the subject of accountability and a lot of different ways that it can show up.
Yeah, that's a big accountability is a big responsibility. Being accountable, something that, you know, when you take on something and you're responsible for molding it and shaping it, you know what I mean, into something great, or, you know, and your responsibility within your family, or you being accountable for certain things that you have to do to uphold your part, you know, to keep the whole ship going. You know, what part are you gonna play? What's your job prescription to keep this thing together? Are you gonna be accountable for your actions, or you know, that's a big thing for human beings. You know, I think it's the type of the future that we living in right now. You know, technology, everything is affected by this energy that's like, what do we do to balance all of this out and teach people the proper traditional ways? You know, I think people talk about tradition, right? And they say, well, you know, tradition change and certain things change and all of these things change and change and change. And then you slowly but surely you're getting away from the tradition. The root of it, you know, is like, it's turning into something else, but you're not maintaining, like they said, the Sankofa, it flies forward, but it still looks back. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can't go into the future without knowing the past. You know, and accountable, man. Listen.
The accountability starts with, you know, first of all, it starts with us, you know, with ourselves, just, you know, keeping it real with yourself.
How do you do that? If
you, you know, don't lie to yourself, just be accountable for, you know, we are humans, so it's just, you know, just own it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that. It's very liberating and very freeing when you learn how to do that. You know, just take accountability for what it is, learn from it, and then, you know, just keep keep moving, but it's so much of a lack of accountability in so many different ways. Like one of the, the things that's being discussed is a lot of people, they will, well, just to break something down first before we get into that, we just want to reiterate an initiate versus a priest. So if you were just initiated, or you've been, initiated for a year or two or whatever it is, like when the thing that makes you a priest or a priestess is, what what certain things you will have had to study and learn and committed to memory and been tested and, been kind of regulated on, okay, then you are that's what actually makes you a priest or a priestess, not being initiated or, any other thing other than that process that I just described. That's really to be official when you want to use these words. So if you have just been initiated, or if you're still learning that knowledge, just call yourself, you are an initiate and a devotee. You're working towards becoming a priest or a priestess if you are on that journey of learning and you're committed to doing those things, which can't be done just with books,
Right. I always say when you get initiated and you go through your year, you come back home, or if you fly somewhere and you get initiated and you come back, take a break. Rest your mind.
Yeah, stay in for a little bit.
Stay in for a little bit. Don't
start the elay before you've been home for
like you just
7
last
days.
week you just got initiated and you coming back home. Go to bed. Rest for a minute.
Take a nap.
Rest your mind. Don't try to jump out there and start an elay, or rest. Get into what just happened.
Start doing stuff that you don't know how to do. Don't do that.
Analyzing. You've been initiated.
Take your time.
Now it's time for you to initiate yourself. So when you get back home off that plane, go home and lay down for a minute. Rest your mind. Meditate. Get into your IFA. Just rest.
Yeah.
Don't go open the elay. You don't have to do that, because this is your time.
Shouldn't
now.
do that.
This is your time. Take a rest. Study for about a year or two. Get into what your Odu is, or what your taboos are, and study your...
Really 3 to 5.
Study some chants of your Odu.
Nobody hear nothing from you for about a good 2 to 5 years. You should just be there learning and studying and being humble, and, not a bunch of stuff that people are doing today. It's not an attack against them, but it's really just to educate or help to, spread that word or give that word.
But you really
on that guidance or what that really should look like.
But you really supposed to rest.
You really supposed to. That's step one.
No, that's step one. When you get home,
just chill out.
Chill. Let that ashe soak in. Let that initiation soak in. Don't go back out in the street. Don't go ripping and running, because really, as a new initiate, you're supposed to stay in next to your Orisha. You shouldn't be out at night running around, because you're a newborn. A spirit gonna also, if it see fresh. That's why they say when a Yawo goes out, a Yawo should have a priest with them to protect their ashe. To protect their ashe. An elder priest should be with them. If a Yawo has to go out at night to do something, they should have an older priest with them, that's knowledgeable. You know what I mean? Because you a newborn. You're fresh. Spirits like that, fresh in it. So it's a protection for you. So when you come back home from initiation, whether you fly to Nigeria or fly to Brazil, wherever, or you do it here in the States, just go underground for a minute and get into you. Mm-hmm. And you, whoever your spiritual guide is or your godparent, you know, that's
and just
who you
learn.
stick
Take
with.
your time. Be humble. It's gonna take years if you really want to do it the right way. But you know,
it's not a hard thing.
Yes.
It's you're supposed to, because it's your ori.
Yeah.
You've been initiated. You know, you have you've been reborn.
Yeah.
So, you know,
And-
it be like a
and-
baby. A baby stays in,
Yeah,
and the
you gotta
mama
take
and
it
they're
slow.
being
Just-
nurtured.
Yeah.
They're being nurtured.
Right.
That's why we give the food to the Yawo. When the Yawo is going through his 3 moons, you know, the Yawo sits on the mat and eats on the mat and everything, and somebody brings the food.
Yeah.
It's the Yawo is a baby. So, new initiates. You a baby. This is just the beginning. You got to work up to having your own hospital. That takes years of studying.
Benny.
But you a newborn. Act like a newborn. There's nothing, you know, you don't have to jump out here and you know, I'm going to do these readings and get this money.
Yeah.
You know, open up me an Elay.
It's a big penalty, to pay for that. Now that
it's like,
you've been initiated and now you in this, you know, position, and you choose to, you know, do it your own way or whatever. There's a, you know, when you do the wrong thing in this position as a priest or a priestess, doing things that you really shouldn't be doing, or haven't really fully learned, or not qualified, or haven't been, you know, blessed to do, or whatever. You don't have the ashe to be doing. It's dangerous. You know, it's real dangerous. And the consequences can come back. It could be you. It could go down to your, you know, to your next, you know, to the kids, to the unborn coming in. Like it could do, you know, it could be a thing like that. So that's a big penalty to pay for those of us who are, you know, initiated and then do stuff like that.
yeah, like take your time. You know, and initiation, know that also that just because you get initiated, sometimes initiation, it's good to know why you got initiated, because people get initiated for various reasons, right? You know, so you may be talented in business, but you may be having some issues with business, and you're trying to figure out, what do I need to do to get my business right? You might have to get initiated. And that initiation will help, you know, help your business to thrive, because you got initiated to help your business to thrive. You know, so channels, sometimes you don't have to be this diviner or try to be this great medicine person. It's good to learn, but when you know why you got initiated and for what reason you got initiated for, a lot of times that helps people.
Yeah.
You know, so some people get initiated to overcome sicknesses or illnesses. You know, so there's you know the reason why you are being initiated. Don't get initiated because it's the popular thing to do.
I say.
You know, because it's not nothing popular. It's something that's very serious.
So to piggyback, speaking of that, you know, accountability, right? Your dafa, your ita from, you know, whatever spiritual work you may have done, whatever orisha you may have received, you know, or been initiated to, knowing, you know, those odu, and understanding the messages and really kind of going back and listening to that spiritual advice. Like, you know, people, sometimes they want to pick and choose what they want to listen to and, you know, what they don't. So, you know, accountability comes in many forms. And it's just as important as the, you know, the sacrifices and the rituals that were done. The advice is, you know, is as equally, or if not more important. So you can't. You have to like people. I think people underestimate that a lot of times, and they don't grasp those details from IFA, like doing that divination, because they don't understand how important that it is. The elbow, the taboos,
you're accountable.
The advice and the guidance, the suggestions that IFA gave during the DAFA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the air walls are very important. The air wall, the taboos, being accountable for, like, that's important. Those taboos is what keep you alive. You know, if you follow your taboos, but those are your responsibilities. You know, if you break them, then you're accountable for, but the taboos for me as a diviner are very important in divination, and letting the client know that you're responsible now.
Yeah, you have to be accountable.
You have to be accountable
to yourself, because I can't call you, next month and remind you and say, hey, let's go over your taboos. Like, are you doing this? Are you doing that? I can't do that. So you have to be
that's your responsibility.
The one to do that. That's your responsibility.
You're accountable.
And the only person you're accountable to is yourself. Yep.
Yeah.
And to IFA, because you've been told.
That's why you have to be committed. You got to know that IFA is that serious. When you come to IFA, you're making a commitment, and you're committed for whatever that interpretation of the Odu is, and that message that's given to you. Be accountable to yourself, and those blessings will come.
Man, that's it.
Sure.
Yeah, man. So, it's all, I think it's part of this information age and everything that's going on that helps to, it's just, destroying a lot of the values, the traditional morals and values that make sense, especially for our people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, our people are out of control.
Yeah. That portion, shout out to all the folks that are still staying positive, all the youth, everybody that's more on the positive side of life, but mentally and
people
emotionally and physically, just out here that's doing,
positive things.
That's on the positive side.
Shout out to those who are still standing.
Yeah, I say.
Because there's a lot of stuff out here taking our people.
Yeah. Yeah.
And shouts out to the people that are still standing and still fighting and still trying to, follow the mission.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. So
you got to be strong out here. You got to really, your health is number one. Health is number one. Protecting your mind. Well, that's part of health.
Yeah.
But protecting your mind, that's a big thing.
Yeah.
People losing it.
Yeah.
And you always hearing something.
Yeah.
Something that's that good. This year has been really one of them kind of years,
The other thing that's been on our mind, real heavy is the school. We talk about accountability, right? So, we've been doing, the festivals, we do, the balls, we do the bembeys, we do, parties, we do all of that. And, the culture is beautiful. Culture is beautiful at its core. And we just need to be more accountable, all of us, within ourselves, because there are certain institutions that should be up and running already, or that we should be working on, right now. After we get past October 5th, doing what we have to do, that will be the full focus of, Let's Talk IFA, Oya Tunji Kingdom, and others that, all of the Ifa, Omo Duduwa, Omo Ekaro, El Jire people that we all have in common. So it's just about coming together and having, creating those institutions, such as the first thing really is the school, like daycare, school. That's almost like number one. And establishing some industries that generate income and just different things that we have spoken of before, but it's just,
it's hard to get
it's
people
appropriate right now.
Yeah, it's hard to get people on the same page without fighting, without some type of conflict or gripe about the mission. It's like it's the hardest thing for our people to do is to be able to work together. You got to deal with ego. Ego is the number one thing that our people got, and it's like have a cultural ego.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to have a cultural ego. It's a personal ego. It's a me and my, and I think,
Yeah.
I think it should be like this, and it's gonna go like this. And it's like, no, the platform has already been set.
Humans don't like to share power.
I'm talking about African people, black people, African people.
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
specifically, but
we have a hard time.
it's like a human thing, but
together.
We
and
do.
I always
We're talking about us.
I tell the Obirine, the women, that you all are the key to getting all of this together. Oshun has the power.
I say.
The culture is not about women's liberation. It's about us as a people, our liberation, because we ain't liberated yet.
Right.
We are not liberated yet. We can't even get along. We can't even build together. So how are we liberated?
Yeah.
We're not liberated. We got to liberate ourselves, and it starts with working together. African man and African woman. It's through marriage.
Yeah, Ben.
And harmony that you're going to see the flowers start to
and business.
The bloom.
And business.
That's the fruits. It's, this thing with African men and African women, I don't want to say black all the time, but I want to say African women and African men. It's like, look how we treat each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, don't nobody want family no more. It's like you make a family, and then next thing you know, something go on, and then you separate it. And it's like, then it's this battle over, the children,
kids,
and all of this kind of stuff. And it's like, why? Why do we got to be like that?
Yeah.
With each other? We don't have to be. But it's that poison, and we got a lot of ego, but we have nothing. We haven't built anything.
Nothing to show for it yet.
We haven't built nothing.
And if we don't do that, if we don't have these schools that are training our kids now, it's the accountability. If we don't have these schools and these institutions where these kids can be learning now, coming up under us, my brothers, we all around 50, you know what I'm saying? And then we got the ones under us that's in the the lower 40s, and then the 30s, and then the 20s, and then the teens. And so we have to have systems. This is where I'm getting to. Systems. Everything has to run by a system, so that no matter, of course, we're gonna have a disagreement or whatever.
That's part of the move. That's part of the moving forward.
So we got to do better with handling that, but still moving forward to get things done. that need to get done. That's our problem.
We done lost touch with the importance of the next generation.
Yeah.
Because when you know
accountability,
when all of your work is being put in, all of your work and energy is being put in to establish something for the next generation coming up under you, and then that generation do the same thing.
Yeah, that's the focus.
That's the focus. And when you have that focus of we got to take care of us, and we got to take care of our generations to come. We got to have something. Then you start building.
Yeah,
you start putting these things in place to make sure that the next generation is going to take it, they're going to elevate it, and they're going to be responsible.
We have to,
for
because if we don't, then everything that we work to build, it'll just slide backwards until maybe one day, you know what I'm saying, it may not exist at all if we're not careful.
Yeah, it's so important.
We got to take it to another level. Every generation has that responsibility to maintain what was handed down to them, and add their piece of the puzzle to everybody. Come and add a piece. So whatever you got to give, an offer that you're gonna leave, or you elevated it, or you did this or did that or whatever, it has to be that thing. It has got to be something.
We have a good concept though. The concept of having Orisha Egbe is a good concept for it to start. Because let's say this. Let's say I got 10 males and 10 females in my Ile. You got 10 males and 10 females in your Ile. And we know each other, and we can members of my Ile can marry into members of your Ile. And then it just, you see what I'm saying? Man. It's like, that's how, because as African people, we got to multiply more. We're not having children like we really shouldn't be having. Like, really. You know what I mean? Like, and I guess because of the economy, but we got to create our own wealth. So that we can control how much each children women have. If we want to go there like that. Africans don't control how many children they have. You can have as many children if you want, But you got to have the economy.
We got to have these systems set up. Yeah, this includes the economy, the schools, the rites of passage program that it's gonna that flow into, that they flow back and forth into each other with the school and the rites of passage program. So. And then any other programs or workshops that's going on, festivals, like they got, opportunities for drumming, singing, and dancing and doing all these different things, paid though. Like, get more into the nonprofit and certain grants that can be used, and just different things like that, where it's more, managed on that level where there's, money involved. And everything is ran on a certain level. Right.
Yeah, because that's a beautiful system. Like I said, the Orisha Iles or whatever, and I'm cool. Like, it's supposed to be like that. You know what I mean? And I'm supposed to be, okay, well, I'm from this Ile, and you're from that Ile, and I don't like no members from your Ile, and so then all this catty fighty stuff between Iles and Iles at war. Yeah, and they don't even know why they at war, because somebody over there don't like. No, this stuff is about producing and being productive and producing and reproducing. There's nothing wrong with families. We don't focus on families. We fight too much. Our people fight too much. Yeah. We fight. We are jealous of each other too much. So it keeps us separated. But the women have the power to heal it if they want to do that. You know what I mean? They have to want to do that. That's the power of Oshun.
Benny.
And we're accountable for our race, for our nation, for our communities, for our children. It's on us. The children are looking at us. They're like, where y'all tripping?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why, we got to be more, we got to show a better example to our children.
I say.
And we can't be on that ego thing because it's a lot of that, but we have a lot of potential. Our culture is beautiful, but we're accountable for the things we do, and that's why, with people doing, initiations that, doing weird stuff. In initiations, like,
oh, man, don't do it.
We have to tighten up on the priesthood. No, it just says we have to tighten up.
Yeah.
On the priesthood. So we have to have more priest meetings and establish the rules and laws of the priesthood. Just like we were saying earlier, you just got initiated 3 days ago, and now you a Baba.
What does What does that even mean?
And I have a Ile Oshetora, in whatever city. You got to eat. Like, what kind of training have you had? So we have to. When you see things out of control, or you hear certain things, and you're like, "Damn, that's not how that's supposed to go," or then like, okay, something is out of control. The priesthood is out of control. So all we need to do is get the right heads and form a priest council. And we control that. We might have to have priest cops and investigators or something, to investigate these things that hold people accountable for what some of the stuff that's going on out here. Like these, it's like, if we don't have it, it just shows me, I try not to get mad about it anymore when I hear it, because I'm like, well, it's going to happen if we don't have it's going to happen. And it's happening because we don't have the proper things in place to control it.
I mean,
so what can you say?
And then it's really hard to, like, this isn't ancient, Oyo, where whatever we say,
Right.
and then it's people
Right.
can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not we don't control this, so people can do.
They're gonna do what they do.
They're gonna do what they do. And the people that end up they're so-called
accountable,
victims or whatever, they play a role in that too, a small one. And everything that's happening, on a larger level, they're playing a small role, but because you're always gonna have both characters. You're always gonna have both sides of that. The one that's kind of seemingly not knowing and new to it and trusting somebody, and they kind of get got, and then you always have the person that's on the other side that's actually doing, that's getting the person that's trying to take advantage or manipulate the situation or scam them or whatever. You always have both. So wherever you end up on either side of that, it just kind of dictates where you at right now on your path.
I wonder if sometimes, and when people get got, that has such a large spiritual debt, and they ain't pay it, so they got scammed for.
It was a repayment of some debt,
And spiritually, if you're not, most people don't look at that spiritually.
Don't look at it that way, right.
But you may have owed a debt, or it could have been a robbery from a spirit,
some
spiritual,
karma,
karma, something
from a past life or something.
You have to pay that debt, and you getting scammed is you didn't pay that debt.
Yeah,
and but people don't think like that.
But yeah, man, that's really the message. So the people that are down with that understand that message, if it resonates to you, we need to link up and get together and make that happen. Because we got to leverage the group that we're a part of. So if this is going to be a Yoruba nation or IFA or Risha, a nation we can have, we need to link up.
Yeah, and put finances together and get the materials needed to build what we need to build and to establish what we need to establish and to buy the land that we need to buy, because truly we need more villages. Shouldn't be just one. But, you can't crown yourself and you still living in an apartment.
Nah, you can't.
Or you living in a house paying the mortgage. You got to have land, and you have to have a following of people that you're liberating to set them up on that land, and y'all start you all's village and town. Yeah. Other people come and they help and they support and they live on the land and follow the customs and traditions of the land. Like it should be more towns.
We got a lot of titles out here, so we got to use our whatever power, influence, and resources that we have to build something that's going to last when we're not here no more. You know what I mean? Institutions that will continue the mission and of, protecting our children and just helping us to be the best people we can be by. The only way we can do that is having our own schools, one, and rites of passage programs, two, like consistently all the way up, all the way through and through. Because you got to look at it. Whatever we're doing right now is really not working too well for us, just statistically looking at it with the amount of single-parent households and the amount of divorces and families that aren't together, dysfunctional families, the families that are together, a lot of are dysfunctional. So, that's just what we talk about and what we see a lot. So it's not to be negative, but, like I said, we know there's plenty of positive examples out there where this is going on. So that we love all of that, but this is just what we're addressing right now. The things that we see that need to be improved and how do we fix it and how do we improve it? Because, the family has been decimated. The black family's been decimated.
Yeah,
so
it's
whatever we doing now is just not working too well.
Yeah, the black family, you said it right, the black family has been dismantled, totally dismantled.
Your mom and dad together, boy, that's an anomaly these days. Instead, it's supposed to be the opposite. But it's been flipped around and we acting like it's not there. So,
again, I think it's the Obi-Reen has the black woman, the African woman.
Oh, I see.
It's the key.
Man.
Once she's able to understand what a African woman is to her people,
I say,
to her nation, then to herself first, her family, her nation.
And once we figure out that we are important to us, then, that puts us in a position where we can really just all work together more and stop worrying about who like who or what beef or whatever. And if everybody is focused on the same outcome, then we can put all the pettiness to the side and just everybody can work. We don't have to be best friends or none of that, you know what I'm saying? But we know at the end of the day, we're going to be better off if we all work together with each other too, because we all have this one common goal. You know what I'm saying? Even if I don't really mess with you, I ain't got to mess. It's a million of us out here. Everybody ain't going to get along, and that's okay. Everybody respect that, and we see each other, we speak, we cordial, whatever, but we may not be that close. So you got to flow in and out of love. Like there's no reason for it to be upset or whatever. It is what it is. It's just about to just be more like water, like Oshun, just flow. Sure. put something in front of it, it just whoop, like
That's why I keep mentioning
smooth.
Oshun.
It just go right around it.
In this
It just go right
conversation.
under it. Go right over it.
In this conversation of accountability, I keep mentioning Oshun.
Yeah, Oshun is key. She is key. You got to be flexible and fluid like water and just that stuff because we got somewhere to go. That water got somewhere to go.
Yeah.
The water don't sit there, complain, and do all that. And, like.
It's moving at its pace.
The water's, man, it don't worry about who talking about it. It don't worry about who else, what that other river doing.
Be like water.
Be like water. Mm-hmm. You know? But yeah, man, accountability.
That's important.
Yeah.
Accountable for your actions.
It's okay.
Accountable for what comes out of your mouth. Mm-hmm. How you say it. Accountable for the decisions that you make. The choices that you make.
Boy, a lot of the youth today, I love my youth, but I've noticed that the thing that is real prevalent is they don't want to take any accountability for anything. Like it's too painful for them to just admit that, whatever it is. They just can't. They don't. It's always somebody else's fault. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of these youth, they don't.
I think a lot of the youth influence each other. Mm-hmm. And then you got a lot of youth who got phones. They put everything on the phone, and upload it to YouTube or whatever. And then other children be watching it, and they get influenced by it.
They get influenced by people who don't know nothing,
and they don't know nothing. Mm-hmm. And it's like this is the image that's being promoted, not only just to the children but to the world.
Yeah.
You don't think none of that stuff is causing, a lot of that is causing mental illness. Children walking around with guns and shooting up the school. Like,
man, and let's talk about it. I think the one that we'll end on is accountability to the ancestors.
Yeah, because all of that, everything we just talked about, and the problem that we facing in the world, and the out of control energy, is because nobody's paying attention to the ancestors.
Yeah, man.
They can pray to the ancestors. They can pray to the ancestors. They can do a sacrifice to the ancestors. And they can say, I give a lot of attention to my ancestors. But you may not. If you're not tapping into the root of and the wisdom of what the ancestors have passed on.
What they should be.
Because those things is what gives you grounding. Those are the things that keep you grounded. That wisdom that, like you just said, be like water. Water don't care. Water don't. Not that it don't care, but it's like I ain't got no time. Water don't have no time for all of that. Water is healing, but the ancestors.
Yeah. Accountability to the ancestors, like carrying on that torch of, okay, what should we really be doing? Like, let's look at the state of, because the state of our lowest people indicates the state of our people. We know we got some people that's well off, that's doing great. And then you got people that have things, they got material things, but they're not, mentally and emotionally, they're not good. You got all different types of people that have varying degrees of material and then have varying degrees of, E-ray or Osobo or EB or Ayewo. You know, they got positive and negative on any one of those fronts. But, you know, as far as accountability to the ancestors, it's like carrying on that. What should we really be doing, you know, right now? You know what I mean? And the answer is we should be using our collective, you know, our numbers to basically create our own, you know, nation within a nation, to be, you know, to do what the ancestors already did before integration. To me, like, all the great, you know, scholars and the elders that we listen to, they all, John Henry Clark, Ibara Torun, and so many more, they said your religion or your spiritual system, you know, has to be the backbone to the driver to your own, you know, to your independence as a people. So your self, you know, perseverance and your self-reliance and your own independence as a people. If your religion and your spiritual system doesn't relate to that, then you're just wasting your time. If that's not the end goal of it.
You just dancing and singing and drumming, but what does it mean? What are we doing? What are we doing it for?
What are we doing? Yeah.
What are we doing? Is it bringing us together? Is it giving us the tools needed so we can start building? Is it doing
Do we love ourselves?
Do we love ourselves?
Do we love each other?
Like how much? Because to me, bembes and ceremonies and rituals are when every time you having that ball or have some type of ritual done, it's healing a part of you.
It's healing. It's
healing. You know,
it's healing.
Either something where you've been wounded,
Benny,
or it's healing in a way where it's bringing you more closer to your destiny.
I say,
you know,
all of that.
It's
like water; it just fill in the gap whatever it is.
And if it's not towards that, that's why you know I'm like, I see people do a lot of eba. They be doing it, and I'm like, dang, like you don't have a wife or you don't have a husband yet, and you doing a lot of work. You done got 3-4 initiations, and you mean to tell me you got a divorce? You know what I mean? It's like something ain't right. And that's part of the building towards the future, when you can see the initiations bring certain blessings. And you're able to understand that, wow, the ancestors, the Irumale, the Orisha, they brought me this blessing. All I got to do is maintain it now. You know what I mean? But if it comes and you have it and you enjoy it for a little bit and then you're just like, you know, it's like something ain't right. Something ain't right. Like if what we do as IFA devotees, if we're not seeing the fruits of all the energy that we put in, when we drumming hard, when we singing hard, when we dancing hard, when we chanting hard, if you don't, all of that, the Oshe Ifas that everybody do, how is it affecting us? Is it bringing us together?
See, that part's on us. We have to collectively make our mind up to do that. And then once we do that, and within that, Ifa will kick in that capacity where now, okay, all type of blessings will come out of that. But we have to make that first move and that first step to have that mindset to say, okay, even if it's just, you know, starting out to be 100 of us or whatever the number is, you know, we're going to start here and just build and do what we need to do. But that should be, you know, that should be the goal, because food is crazy right now. Housing is crazy.
Oh my God,
as far as the quality of the food, the price of the food, you know, the housing is crazy. So we got to do something, you know, we got to do something different. You know, we need land. We got to get back to the basics on a lot of things and get everybody, include myself, need to get better with, the basics of money and credit and business credit and building and using other people's money to, because you got good debt and bad debt. So it's better to use other people's money to build wealth and just start building these empires so, we can live well and do well and be well off,
Sure.
Oyo Tunji's, Oyo, has risen again. So Oyo had a lot of money. They collected taxes from different people, but I'm saying it's just as far as the business is concerned, just looking at things more from a business perspective, from an economic development perspective on a larger scale. So now we could take that and flip it to whatever business model that we want to use now, because it's not like back in the day where, we having wars and we conquering people and we collecting taxes and we got this great empire. The empire is the people. The empire is everybody, all the Yoruba people, all the Ifa Orisha people, really across the globe. That's really the best way to make it the most effective is to link up the Ifa community in the diaspora all over the world. Link up with the Ifa community in Africa, and all we got to do is have a system, man, that's fair, and there's enough numbers and enough people, and there's enough smart people and great minds and geniuses to be able to make some stuff happen.
And always a good way to start that is, let's say, for example, Let's Talk IFA is in Dallas. Then there should be some Yorubas there to say, hey, the Let's Talk IFA guys is in Dallas. Let's make sure they set up right and they, we take care of each other. We look out for each other. We open up opportunities for each other. You know what I mean?
All of that.
Like the Let's Talk IFA.
Like a network.
Let's get them while they're here. Let's see if they can do 5 interviews with whatever, and that's how we are. And we all grow. Like wherever, if somebody come to our town and so, okay, this is a Awo in town. Oh, he's legit. Let's welcome in. Have a celebration or a welcome celebration for them. You know what I mean? Let's see what they want to do in the community. Let's see how we can help them get established in the when we start doing things like that for each other as a people, that's how we grow.
Yeah.
We look out for each other instead of saying, oh, those Let's Talk IFA guys in town, what they are, they coming to take over, or they no. We supposed to make connections.
Yeah,
We're supposed to look out for each other.
When we on the right track, when we got a shopping center and it's all in Yoruba.
Yes.
So that's when we on the right track. The insurance agency over there, credit union, supermarket, the beauty supply store, manicure, pedicure place, a barber shop, beauty salon,
clothing,
some retail, some food. We be on the right track. And then there's a school. There's a school in every, major area. So all the Ilays kids go to that Yoruba Center school, or it might be if it's a larger city, it might be more than one school, whatever it is. But that's how it need to be. We need to have
Mexicans do it in this country. The Filipinos doing it in this country.
African Center school.
They have the Mexicans have their school. The Filipinos have their school.
Yeah,
all of these races in this country,
Atlanta and Virginia, everywhere.
Black people ain't got none.
Yeah,
we don't have none that's well known. If you might have groups over here doing this and that, but let them groups come together and form 500 or 1,000. Make I think African people have to, in this country, I'm going to start off here because we're here, African people born in this country and African people that live here from the continent, we need to link up. We don't need to look down on each other and say, well, I'm more African than you are. Oh, you messing it up. You know,
Yeah,
we look, like.
Yeah.
We got to integrate more.
Yeah. This really, on a bigger scale, is really a driver that is linking up African descendants in the diaspora with Africans back home in Africa.
Yes.
That's really what this whole movement is really doing. It's even bigger than IFA is doing it.
Yes.
You know,
even when we may not see it, IFA is doing
it's
it.
behind it. It's that's really the driver. So now, okay, this is the vision that Marcus Garvey had. This is the vision that that Malcolm X had right before he passed. The vision that the leaders had, is all right. Now
you starting
we
to
linking
see it.
up, right?
Now you see.
So now, how do we capitalize off of it for our collective advantage? Now, how do we,
we keep the money circulating within our communities. That's how. Like the Jews, and we got to look at these other groups. We got to look at how these other groups are doing it too.
Yeah.
Because if we just looking at how we doing it, it's like right now we can't. We don't have.
No, we gotta research to see what's the best way to do it. We gotta play catch up.
Right.
Yeah. We gotta
as a
benchmark.
people now. As a people now.
Yeah.
As a people now, we gotta catch up.
We gotta move like that. Yeah.
But it's simple. The women, again, I go back to the women are the key. Oshun, the energy of Oshun, to bring the harmony back together.
That's it.
Marriage. Oshun deals with marriage. She's a Orisha of marriage. Those are the institutions. Marriage is an institution. Those are the institutions that help to produce more offspring. And if we're not doing that, and we don't have, when these beautiful offsprings are produced, do we have, who's going to educate them? You got to have a system set up for that. You know what I mean? Food system, so these children can get good food.
All of that.
All of that.
We are accountable to the children for making sure that they have a school that they can go to that makes sense, where they're going to be safe, where they're going to be educated about their history, their real history, and, different concepts and different ways of thinking, so that they will be okay in this world, so that they won't be depressed and suicidal and be, have anxiety and want to hurt themselves and commit suicide and homicide and do all the stuff that they want to do right now. You know what I'm saying?
Boy, I tell you, it's rough out
That's
here.
crazy that we even have to say that.
Rough.
And I worked in the elementary school for a year, doing the IT stuff, so I seen it firsthand. Elementary school, like we had some kindergartens that I knew about that was, I was like, wow. So that's where we at, with the school thing now, and it's just like this accepted thing, and they trying to manage it and do, but they seeing some rough stuff, bro, on the front lines. These psychologists and these social workers and these psychiatrists and school counselors and all that, and these elementary and middle school and high schools, boy, they on the front line, I'm telling you. And that is, to see that going on in children, that shows you that there is a negative energy, that there's some type of wicked energy out here that is the driving force behind that. I don't care what you tell me. Growing up, we didn't have, I don't recall any of that I don't recall anybody being
Nobody was pill
feeling
popping
that
either.
way.
It
Yeah.
wasn't a lot of pill. It wasn't no pill popping like that neither. You know.
All of this anxiety and depression and suicidal and all of this stuff, and especially in our kids. You know what I'm saying? You might have heard that about others growing up a little bit, but not really in the black community like that. That we didn't. That something has infected us. That's one of the agents of Iku. One of the Ajogun have infected. Now it's infected our children. You know what I mean? To the point where, you know, one of my children was in the behavioral health facility for, you know, a few days. I have to tell that story later, but so I seen it firsthand. Like I saw and felt that energy, man, in there. It's strong, bro. You know what I mean? I'm in there trying to deal with my own situation, and I see, you know, a kid get brought in, little black kid. He's probably about maybe 4th grade. You know, they brought him in there because he was threatening to harm others and threatening to harm himself. And I'm listening to him, and I'm watching all this and taking all it in. And then I'm like, this is a lot. This is, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm already dealing with my thing, and then I'm like crushed all over again just watching him. And then it's just, you know, happens again and again and again. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be accountable to our children and put them on the fast track to, if you are enjoying the blessings and receiving the blessings, and if you really plugged into the beauty of this culture, then we are accountable to our children also to make sure that we set up that experience for them, so that so they can take it to, you know what I'm saying, that next level and just do something great with it, you know.
Oh, sure.
We can't wait to do that. You know what I'm saying? And it just seems like, as a matter of accountability, that we are, you know, more focused on, you know, what we've been doing, which is festivals and bembes and, you know, partying. You know what I'm saying? Just to be honest, without having the institutions in place, we look a little crazy. I'm gonna be accountable for myself, for everybody. I'm speaking, you know, to myself as well.
I share. Same here.
We look a little crazy right now.
Yeah. Yes, we do.
So we're gonna.
It's too much pageantry.
We're gonna exemplify accountability right now and be accountable ourselves right now. Yeah, it's too much pageantry.
It's too much pageantry.
And we don't have the institutions set up on a national, you know, on a community, on any real level.
We're not stable.
That can help sustain us.
Let's call it out. We're really not stable.
Right.
We do all of this pageantry to try to make ourselves look good. But the foundation is rocky.
Yeah.
The foundation is well, we about to tip. It's shaky.
It's a little sandy under the foundation.
But we trying to, and as we sinking, we still trying to make ourselves look good. But we going like this, and we still, roof is caving in.
Instead of taking that money and getting the foundation together.
The wall is falling apart, and we throwing pretty cloth and hanging it over.
Oh, it's decked out inside.
To make it look good, but once you take the cloth off, you know, it's like
the house is leaning.
Yeah.
You got to do the foundation repair.
We still trying to make it look good. I'm not with the pageantry stuff. I'm like, we don't have no money. We don't have enough hands.
I say. And when we talking about money, we talking about millions.
Like, we don't have banks.
I say.
We don't have no schools, no institutions. To teach our children business, to teach them how to keep the money in the community.
To teach our children how to think so they won't go crazy.
How do you buy
how to move
from your
and how
neighbor.
To act and how to, you know, Iwapwele and Iwarere and, you know.
Place. And the reason why, one of the reasons We don't have families. Like we said earlier, it goes back to families. I keep going
Everybody
back to
too distracted, bro. Everybody too
distracted about it's like,
and not really focus on what's really important.
we should. The last 2 readings I did, it talked a lot about there should be no single women in our culture. If you call yourself a Yoruba Ifa devotee, there should be no single women. It's okay to marry a woman with children, but there should be no single women. You know what I'm saying? There should be no single men. How we calling ourselves Ifa Orisha devotees and you don't have a husband or you don't have a wife? You know what I mean? It's like those are the institutions within our culture. Yeah. Those are the traditional practices. Those are the things that you're supposed to do as a Yoruba Ifa devotee. You said, that's the. Why do you think in the old dudes where Ifa says you're going to be blessed with children, you're going to be blessed with marriage, you're going to be blessed with the fruit of the womb or whatever? It's like, come on, like, what's going on? You single and you walking around and you don't even want a man or you don't even want a woman and you just standing around.
Not just standing around.
Standing around. Like,
oh man.
You just moving in your own.
Yeah.
Like the motivation. This is the motivation. These are the blessings when you come into this Yoruba Ifa spirituality, as they call it now. It's like you're supposed to strive and move towards those things. Marriage, business, chieftaincy, so that you can be an asset to your community and going forward. Those are the things that we supposed to do. One of the things is we got to keep our families together. So those who are married and who are working hard to keep their marriage together, because it's an attack on black families.
Boy, it's an all-out war assault.
It's to separate
on the black family.
And it's strategically done where it affects our women. You know what I mean? And it's like you see a lot of these, and within our communities, you see a lot of the fathers and mothers are just fighting. They separated, and the child, it messes up the child.
We just don't know how to get along, and you're right. It messes up the child.
It messes up.
It's a lot of unnecessary separations and divorces because you talk to the people that's been married 40, 50, 60 years. They'll tell you. Viola Davis just said something earlier in a video just recently where she was like, your marriage don't start until you look at your spouse and you be like, I absolutely hate this person right here. Like, why did I even marry them? Like, why am I with this human being? Like, you know what I'm saying? And then the next minute is like, you love them to death. It's like, she was like, it's just, you just got to know how it's going to be all types of seasons and stuff in your relationship and your marriage or whatever. But people made a choice, and usually it was most of the time it was in love and stuff, but it's just in human life, your relationship is going to go through those
It's going to go through those stages.
It's not exempt through.
Yeah. Every 7 years, I say.
Yeah, everything is energy. Everything is in the shape of a wave. So you got your ups and downs and your highs and lows. That's what all that means. You can't escape it. You can only navigate it. You can only learn how to navigate it.
Perseverance is key.
Yeah.
And knowing those stages is what they are. And when they come, you know how to maintain and handle it to make it to the next stage. It comes every 7 years.
Yeah, I say.
Your marriage,
cycles.
those cycles come every 7 years. Where you're in marriage, every 7 years you're gonna be.
Yeah,
You're gonna be a
it's
challenge.
real.
You're gonna be the
And you gotta make a
taskmaster.
decision whether you're gonna stay together. That's all it is.
Yeah, because you don't have to live in the same house. Now you really don't. You really don't. No, you really don't.
You don't.
Because, okay, as a young couple, you're going to live together, right? Mm-hmm. But as you get older, you're going to want to have your own space.
Your own space, own house,
There's nothing wrong with
something.
that.
It could be close by, whatever. But, we just got two places.
You got two places, and it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. You got to have space. You got to have space, so that you can get along better.
Because that's what happened anyway. I know my mom and daddy, they've been married for about 50, 51 years. I know for a good few years, they didn't even sleep in the same room, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like that.
Yeah, it's going to be.
But you learn to work with each other and to lean on each other and to support each other.
Yeah.
And
because you just going to leave and more than likely get with somebody. You got to deal with their stuff, and then you going to find yourself in the same place if you don't do the work. If you don't take accountability to do that work that you need to do, you're going to run into the same thing.
To the same problem.
To the next one, you go to the next relationship.
You're going to start a whole new.
Yeah.
And it's like, why not stay with what you got and
figure yourself out first,
right.
and then then you got stable ground to see whether you should be in this relationship or not. But so anyway,
there's nothing wrong with staying together and working through it.
Yeah,
because it's a cycle you go through.
Yeah,
that 7-year mark.
Yeah, it's real.
It's real.
So. As we wrap up this episode, we just want to reiterate one thing. When you come home from initiation, just lay down.
Lay down.
Just take a nap.
Take a nap.
Just chill out.
Put your head on the pillow or look up at your ceiling and say, wow, I just got initiated. Olodumare, stay close to me.
Study your
Ori, guide me.
Thank your ancestors.
Ifa, guide me. And just
learn your
let
research.
It soak in.
Let it soak in.
Don't get off the plane and go get on the phone and say, okay, let's get ready to open that E-lay up.
Pop that
E-lay off, son. I done made Baba.
Oh, shit.
Let's go open that E-lay.
You didn't make Baba, did you? You done made You done made EI.
Don't do that.
To get it popping now. Get this money.
Get off that, initiation.
I'm telling you, it's not going to go well.
Initiation is beautiful.
It's not how this go.
Rest your mind when you get back off the plane.
Yeah.
Go home.
Stay in the house. Don't even go out.
Cock your feet up.
Don't even get on social media.
Yeah, don't get on social media. Yeah. That's something you don't
Just
do.
Turn that off.
You don't want that to affect your fresh ashe.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want, don't get on and start taking a bunch of pictures and showing your initiation pictures to the whole world. Like, just give it a rest.
Mm-hmm.
Give it a rest.
Yeah. Put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
Be humble, travel, learn, do your training, do your studies, or whatever your path may be. Everybody's not meant to be a priest. You might just be an initiate and a devotee, and you needed to get initiated, like my brother said, for whatever the reason is, right? Be accountable to your role and stay in your lane.
Sure.
Stay in your lane, you know? Obe One is one of the Odu that talk about staying
in your lane. Obe One.
Yeah, just stay, That's all you got to do.
Stay over there.
Be accountable to yourself. Just stay in your lane.
Continue your journey.
It's okay, yeah. But you can't, as soon as you come back, you can't start the elay. You can't start divining for people. You can't start making medicine and selling soap and,
First thing you do is lay down. Rest yourself.
Just take a nap.
Let the ashe soak in.
Yeah.
Just let it flow.
Learn your mojuba. Memorize that.
Study.
Work on that.
Whatever prayer your Baba gave you, study that.
Memorize
that. Go to
that.
your IFA. You're fresh.
Right.
Don't, you know, like the Baba here said, don't get on social media and start posting a whole bunch of pictures of you and see I didn't and start, you know, now you didn't change your whole profile, you know.
Or now you don't ballet to me no more.
Right.
Now you just got initiated. You don't do ballet to your elders. Just for y'all that if you don't know, you still do ballet to your elders, to your teacher, to your Oluo, to, you know, you still do ballet to them, to any respectable elder that you know is respectable. You know, that don't mean that you the king or the queen now. You know, so just check your ego, you know, just stay humble. You know what I mean? Like I said, for like 3 to 5 years, you should just be getting to know yourself, getting to know your Orisha, and getting into yourself, you know what I mean? Settle into your lane. Take that 3 to 5 years when you first come into this or when you first been initiated, and just take that time, like the brother said, just lay down. Just take a nap.
Yeah, rest your head.
Please.
Man.
Don't open the ILA. If I said you had to leave your job and you had to start an ILA and you had to do, if I might have said that, but it didn't say today. It didn't say next week. If I didn't say next month. If I means that when you are ready, that's what you will need to do. But in order to do that, you have a whole lot of studying and stuff to do before you can get to that point where you can actually leave your job. That's not what IFA is not saying that to do that, to go and leave the job and do that right now. IFA is saying to study. IFA is saying to prepare for that and study and start learning for that.
IFA said go home and rest.
I said, take a nap.
Take a nap. Rest your head. You just got initiated.
Yeah, just cool out.
Don't cram your brain with all kind of other stuff.
Benny.
The only thing you need to cram your brain with, your Ori with, is that Itai that was given to you.
Yeah.
And studying your taboo. Whatever the wisdom was from your old dude.
Don't try to teach no classes.
Right. Don't say, okay.
If you 5 years, even at 5, I would say classes, I would say these need to be around at least 10 years before you start, you know, trying to teach classes.
I don't think they can wait that long. They can't wait that long.
That's really.
They need to wait that long.
That's really where men need to be.
These jokers now, they can't wait a week.
It should be 10. It should be 10 to 15 years.
3 days and they get back. Elay is open.
Yeah, man, just slow down.
Too many Elays out here.
To really get the blessings of this, just, you know, just chill. Just chill out, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
to get the blessings for yourself and to really know the fullness of your you know, your Orisha. So if you got initiated to IFA, to know the fullness of your IFA, you gotta give yourself at least, I would say 3 to 5 years.
3 to 5
to studying
minimum.
To studying you.
Just study and learn and grow and be
on your journey. Be on your spiritual journey and your walk and invest into your spirituality,
Benny.
into you for those years.
I know you've been
out with the Opwele and start casting for people.
I know you've been divining with the tarot cards for years. I know you have. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But when you come into IFA, it takes a lot before you can, learn enough to really divine for other people and be proficient.
Yeah, but you know what I don't get? This is one of the things I'm having a hard time understanding now, because I see a lot of Olorisha, a lot of Obirin Olorisha, women Olorisha. They get initiated, But then I see them using tarot cards.
Oh yeah,
And I'm like,
I see
no,
that all the time.
you supposed to be studying and doing Erin de Logun.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you got initiated. Like, you didn't get initiated.
You should switch that over to go deeper with
right. And I'm not saying nothing wrong with tarot, but you can do tarot and you don't have to be initiated to do tarot cards. You know, but once you come into Orisha,
take advantage of that.
Right. You supposed to learn Erin de Logun.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put the cards to the side.
Yeah.
You got to go. You got to tuck them away.
Unless you just gonna use them for whatever the additional information, but you need to learn.
Erin de Logun.
You know,
you should learn Erin de Logun.
Yeah.
And use because that's what the Orisha use.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I
have a hard time understanding that because I'm like, there's a whole bunch of initiates, and a lot of initiates don't know how to divine.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of them, I see they use tarot cards and other methods of divination, and I'm like, wow, okay. And then some of the excuses, well, I'm an Egun priest too, and I'm like, still supposed to do Erin de Logun.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all
that should be your system.
Yeah.
That's what keeps this alive.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have a lot of people who do Erin de Logun. The IFA divination has taken over.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the elders, elder from back in the day told me, an elder from West Africa, she said, Erin de Logun or Erin de Logun introduces one to IFA.
Mm-hmm.
So your first introduction to your divination, it should be with Erin de Logun. And then a series of that, or to that system says, because there's certain Odus and Erin de Logun that say, okay, you got to go see Babalawo now. Mm-hmm. Erin de Logun is done. You're done with Erin de Logun. You need something. Now it's time for you to go to IFA to work on your destiny and to work on the important parts, you know what I mean, that need to be healed or whatever. But Erin de Logun introduces one to IFA. And I'm like, wow, that makes sense. Because Erin de Logun can deal with all of that. You know, you get a lot of people call and they say, well, I got this court case and I need to see the Babalawo because I need to get this thing removed. I need to get I need the papers to be gone. Can you do some work to do that? To make the papers disappear or whatever. But a lot of those things, or a lot of the Awos get people that come for divinations on, an argument they had with their husband or something like, no, go to Erin de Logun for that. When you come to IFA, you're coming to IFA to put the icing on the situation. You know what I mean? Like, but I can understand that system, of going through Erin de Logun and letting Erin de Logun then introduce you to IFA.
I say.
Well,
as we conclude, we hope y'all enjoyed this episode on accountability and its many angles and many facets as we discussed. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for continuing to take this journey with us and support us. We pray for all of y'all for good health, long life, peace and blessings.
Harmony, unity. Family stability.
I say why. And let us all take accountability for ourselves and for the ancestors and for the children and all the righteous things and the reasons that we should be taking accountability. Let us all do that.
And may the ancestors bless us with wealth. Long life.
Why.
Good health. Patience. Stability. Progress. Victory.
Ire lopo lopo.
Money. Prosperity. All the Ire of life. All the Ire of life. Ire Bogbo for what?
Emini, I am Awo Ifa Jimini Ray.
Emini, Awo Ifa Tegunshe.
And you are tuned in to
the greatest
podcast
on
the planet
Let's
Talk.
IFA. Ashe. Odabo.
Odabo for now, y'all. Peace and blessings. Aboato. Asudi Wodi Wofun. Ashe.
Ashe.